live on YouTube. Let's go live on Rumble.
Move
this over here. Yeah, well, I didn't test it over here, actually. That's a good point. But it is working. So,
okay.
Oh, I did not want to do that. This is the most etchy start ever. Anyway, good morning, hello, welcome to This Date in History, aka ThEoD. This show is about what happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for interesting and important happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you don't know you have. The sources of our information come from the smart device application. This music is a little loud, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Is it drowning me out? Let me check my data here. It is a little loud, so I'm going to lower the volume a little bit. My apologies. So, anyway, yeah, the sources of our information come from the website onthisday.com and the smart device application's historical calendar and today in history. For links to these sources and anything else potentially interesting, please check the underbar of the description below, and all links gathered throughout the show will appear down there post live stream as per usual. Anyway, I am Xander. Today I'm joined by
Golden Loon.
And you, of course, viewer, are you, and we are hoping to have Sir King, the King's Refuge, in here with us. He was here earlier, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, today is Woda's Day, aka Oda's Day, aka Wendendendenden's Day, June 12th, 2024. So let's jump into the history today, shall we? And, something that I don't exemplify at the beginning of every show, but it's still, it impresses me. We do this show to report on the things, not really report on, but just I don't know what the word is, educate, report,
Report is good. That's what you're doing. You're reporting on things that happened in the past.
But see, we have 28, the year 28. That is almost 2,000 years ago.
Yes.
That is 1,996 years ago on this very moment in time.
Yeah.
Why are people losing their minds about how awesome it is that we have so much stuff?
Well, what's amazing is we have that information.
Yeah, if it's true, though.
If it's true,
there is that aspect.
Let's see what it has to say.
But yeah, it says here, Roman general Gaius Carnianus triumphant procession through Rome, award for fighting in Gaul, which was France.
I can see that being documented somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, what I said about the true thing is more. Well, it's not really more of a recent issue, but still, history is written by the victor.
Well, yeah, so, over time,
yeah,
truth is hard to maintain.
Yep. And my stupid camera is doing that dumb thing again. Oh well.
What does it do?
It likes to autofocus. I need a new camera. I just straight up do. Anyway, moving on to 746, dedication of the Mat House, published meeting house at the Maya city of Copan under ruler Smoke Monkey. What?
Smoke Monkey?
Smoke Monkey.
Sounds like a rapper.
Yeah, well, it sounds like that song Dance Monkey. Smoke Monkey, Smoke Monkey, Smoke Monkey. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You haven't heard the song.
No.
It's a good song.
In my head.
Yeah. 1381, we have the Peasants' Revolts. English rebels arrived at Blackheath outside London. 14-year-old King Richard II retreated to the safety of the Tower in London. What a coward. So.
Well, you retreat to fight another day.
Well, maybe if he didn't, do things to cause the peasants to revolt, he wouldn't feel the need to retreat, would he? But, the concept of actually doing your job correctly is just way beyond people's capacity. It always has been, it seems. So, 1418 here, we have an insurrection delivered Paris to the Burgundians. Huh. So.
What are the Burgundians?
I don't know. Let's look that up. But an insurrection, just straight up here, have a city. Burgundians.
Yeah, they delivered.
The ethnonym Burgundians is commonly used in English to refer to as the Burgundy, who settled in eastern Gaul and the Western Alps during the 5th century AD. So they were French. Okay. Essentially. Because the Alps are French.
From that region.
The Alps are Swiss, but that borders France, right? The Alps?
Switzerland.
Switzerland, yeah, but...
Swiss Alps, my geography's a little rusty.
Well, let's see here. Swiss Alps map. Let's see here. Let's check out images. Swiss Alps. Yeah, that's Switzerland. Yeah, France is right here.
Where's France?
Right here. So this is Switzerland, but I don't know exactly where the Swiss Alps.
There's plenty of land in between them.
Well, no, France is bordering Switzerland.
Oh,
right here.
Geneva, I see.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Italy's right here, Yeah. Well, France is this whole thing on the west side. It's all France. So France is west of Switzerland, and Germany is north.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got
And
it.
Austria's over here.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. Let's go back to the Burgundians. Yeah. So from Eastern Gaul into the Western Alps. So that is France.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else do we got here today? 1534, Turkish Admiral Sheridan Barbarossa allowed Giulia Gonzaga to kidnap and plunder in Naples.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh. And, is this, yeah, this is right here. 1553, English King Edward VI accepted Archbishop Thomas Cranmer's 42 articles on church reformation. So I'm wondering if it has something to do with Martin Luther's Reformation. Reformation. I can't talk.
Sounds like a power play to me.
The 42 articles were the official why can't I read? Doctrinal statement of the Church of England for a brief period in 1553, written by Archbishop Thomas Cranmer and published by King Edward VI's Privy Council, along with a requirement for clergy to subscribe to it, represented the height of official church reformation prior to prior to the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. It staked out a position among Protestant movements of the day, opposing Anabaptist claims and disagreeing with Zwinglian positions without taking an explicitly Calvinist or Lutheran approach. So it was involved with the Reformation. Good pull. Yeah. Well, I mean that's all religion and government and all that crap really is. Anyway, welcome, good sir.
Hello,
Mr. King. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How about you, sir?
Doing all right. We're already moving on up here into 1651 while you're getting yourself situated, whether you're downloading the script or you're going to watch my screen or whatever it is you're going to do. While you're doing that, I'm going to take 1651 here. The newly completed Fontana di Quattro Fiumi, the Fountain of the Four Rivers by Gian Lorenzo Bernini, was unveiled in Rome. All right, I got to check this out. Because we all know about the Trevi Fountain. You know, that's in Rome too. I'm pretty sure you and Mom went there once.
I'm not familiar with it. I may have and don't remember it.
The Trevi Fountain?
Yeah.
Well, let's look at that after this. Like, this is...
You know how many fountains I saw? They're everywhere.
Was the amount eye-watering?
Oh, boo.
My jokes hold water. What can I say? So, but this is a cool fountain. You know, cool statues and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, they were ornate in the day.
Oh yeah. Nowadays, no.
Everything was ornate.
Yeah. Well, back before we learned how to perfect the algorithm and what angles are better, most optimization, like we're min-maxing life essentially. But these are cool fountains.
What I love seeing was the churches with the flying buttresses on the outside, and that's the way they figured out how to open up spaces inside.
Yeah, that's a different way to distribute the weight.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Sir King, have you gotten into position for 1665?
1665, English installs a municipal government in New York City.
Ah. And that ties in with the other 1665.
That's a tie-in here. The other 1665, New Amsterdam legally becomes an English colony and renamed New York after the English Duke of York.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Now, there is a York in England, and that's where I thought New York was named after, because there was an Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was after a duke either, so I just learned something. We all learned something today, I believe.
Yeah. I didn't realize that.
But I mean, like, you know, we all
know
know
it was New Amsterdam originally.
We spoke about that the other day. That New York was originally New Amsterdam. It was settled by the Dutch.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, you know, what we know is New York, you know, Manhattan, the 5 boroughs, and all that stuff, that used to be a Dutch settlement.
Yeah.
Not as big.
No.
But, yeah. So, like, you know, technically, the second article should have been the first, because this is England installs a municipal government in New York City because they took it. So, of course, they have to install a government, upon acquisition. But speaking of England, we got one here in 1683. Oh, wasn't I supposed to look something up?
Oh, found. It's not important.
Oh, yeah, the trade, whatever. Well, I was going to say that, New Orleans?
Yeah.
It's actually correctly pronounced New Orleans because there is an Orleans in France.
Yeah.
There's a Jersey somewhere.
You go to the French. You go to the French down there.
Yeah, I get to put the Creole in it.
Yeah, that's how they pronounce it.
Oh, good. Anyway, back to you, good sir.
1683. Rye House plot against the English King Charles II uncovered. Look it up.
Yep, I am. The Rye House plot. Hertfordshire in a 17... Okay, that's a painting. Rye House plots, Wikipedia. All right. It was a plan to assassinate King Charles II of England and his brother, who was the heir to the throne, James, the Duke of York. Huh. Is this the same Duke of York that was New York was just named after that I'm talking about?
It's around the same time, so you'd think it would be.
Well, that's actually like almost 20 years later, 65 to 83.
True.
So I wonder if it's the same Duke, though.
Well,
But the royal party went from Westminster to Newmarket to see horse races and were expected to make the return by April 1st, 1683. But because there was a major fire in Newmarket on March 22nd, which destroyed half the town, the races were canceled, and the King and the Duke of York returned to London early. As a result, the planned attack never took place. Ooh. So
that was by a brother?
the Rye House plot was a no. It was the king and his brother. The plot was to assassinate the king and his brother, who was the heir to the throne.
Okay.
So they both were the targets.
Yeah, get rid of the royalty line.
Yeah. No. Well, not necessarily. It could have been within the family, to secure
most likely
power for somebody else later on
line
down.
It keeps on going down. You can't kill them all.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could.
Well, yeah.
They did in Russia.
Yeah, Anastasia and Tsar, the last Tsar, Alexander II, I think. Anyway, let's see here. 1714, when Prussia and Russia signed a secret treaty. That's, whatever. Like, let me look that up really quick. If I can't find anything substantial of that. Oh, here we go. That's 1779. That's 1799. Never. This is. I'm gonna just erase this from the script here because that is such a nothing burger of an article. 1770, patent for a spinning jenny, the first multiple spinning machine that would revolutionize cotton spinning, granted to English weaver James Hargreaves. Huh.
I didn't know where it was going with the spinning machine.
I think that's to take the cotton. It's not a cotton gin.
No.
I don't believe. The cotton gin was invented earlier. When was the cotton gin?
I don't know. What date was that again?
1770. This is way before. Because the cotton gin was invented somewhere... Well, 1793, so not that far off.
No.
23 more years. But this isn't like creating
the spinner was first. The cotton gin was 23 years later.
The spinner essentially, it sounds like an automatic loom of some sort. Some kind of something to do with a loom, because they're taking the processed cotton and spinning it into whatever it is they spin cotton into. But 23 years later, then the cotton gin was invented. Anyway. 1775. What do we got there, good sir?
First naval battle of Revolution Unity. U.S. captures Margarita.
Of Britain. And this is really weird. Oh, wait, no, that's why, because I'm behind. Okay. I was about to lose my mind here for a second, because I thought that they erased the article. Because this was here last night, and it is still here today, so that's good. Anyway,
that'd be disturbing.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was just like, wait a minute, but I was behind by 100 years. But yeah, the first naval battle of the Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we won. We captured the Margarita, which was a British vessel. So, USA. Or before we were USA. But speaking of USA, we have one here in our year. Good old 1776.
Yeah, 1776, Virginia adopts Declaration of Rights.
All right. And I think the governor of Virginia, or whoever it was, like in charge of Virginia, was Good old bifocal man. $100 bill dude. What's his face?
Ben Franklin?
Thank you. Yeah. I think Benjamin Franklin was in charge of Virginia. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so.
1787, here we have delegates of the Constitutional Convention, which is held in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, agreed to requirement providing a senator must be at least 30 years old. That makes sense, you know? By 30, you know, you have a good head on your shoulders, you've mostly developed, because you're still developing in your mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays people are so freaking ridiculous that they're probably
Yeah.
never stopped
We need
developing.
an age limit.
Yep.
Also.
Yep. And a wage limit. An age and wage limit.
Yeah.
1792, British explorer Captain George Vancouver landed on the site of what is now Vancouver, British Columbia.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I know somebody from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a loony and I'm the toonie. So, he's just crazy and I'm animated. So, moving on up into 1830, beginning of the French colonization of Algeria. 34,000 French soldiers landed 27 kilometers west of Algiers at Sidi Firouche. All right. And we got something here in 1838, right back to you. It just so happened to, this is such a coincidental happening right here.
All right. Iowa boy. Yeah. 1838, Iowa Territory forms in Burlington as its capital.
Oh.
Nice.
I wonder if they had a coat factory back then.
Oh, God. Keep scrolling, please.
Yep.
1845, George Abernathy became the first governor of Oregon County.
Oh, okay.
Country.
And this one raised an eyebrow here.
1849, gas mask patented by Lewis Hazlitt, Louis, Kentucky. The Canadian perfected it during World War II.
Yeah, I was gonna say a Canadian. Like we've been over this, right? It was because I used to think it was Canadian involvement, gas mask.
Well, Canadian perfected.
I put that in.
Oh.
I put that in because of evolution of the Canadian gas mask. Okay, the new normal gas etiquette and the Canadian Expeditionary Force. Okay, what is this? So 1915, the Hypno helmet. Dr. McPherson invented the device weeks after he witnessed the gas attack at Ypres during the First World War. It contained glycerin and sodium thiosulfate that protected against chlorine. The Hypo helmet became the most important protective device of the First World War. 2.5 million masks had been made in June 1915 for all Allied troops. So this is Canadians' involvement in the evolution of the gas mask, but they did not invent it, according to this.
Right.
So, but this is this is just saying evolution of the Canadian gas mask. But it's still in my mind because I remember reading somewhere that some article said that Canada invented the gas mask right here in 1914. It was talking about this Hypo helmet.
Gotcha.
But this is not the actual invention of the device.
And of course, you probably know well that Hitler got gassed in World War I.
Yes, he did.
Lucky he lived, or unlucky he lived.
Unlucky he lived. Yeah. But yeah, no, like that's like that's why he ended up in the hospital. He was blind for a while. It was mustard gas or something he got hit with, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, 1859, Comstock silver lode in Nevada discovered, the first major silver discovery in the U.S. Huh?
Boy, that was huge up in there, silver mining.
Yeah. There's a old now no longer in use silver mine over by Tombstone, right? Like they have tours.
Yeah.
To go into the mines there.
Yeah.
Like, the entire area of that town is just honeycombed. It's wild to think that like there's an anthill under there, you know. 1860, the State Bank of the Russian Empire was established. Can anyone say Rothschild? 1861. What do we got here, Sir King? Oh, he's muted. 1861, Missouri Governor Claiborne Jackson called for 50,000 volunteers to stop federal quote-unquote invasion from taking over his state after U.S. Army forces led by Nathaniel Lyon arrested pro-Confederate state militia at Fort Jackson. So this is the beginning of the Civil War, and they were considering, well, we were invading technically,
Yeah.
even though it was
And the
still our
Constitution,
land, and yeah.
to this day, gives states to have their own militias in defense of even. And the fear was that the feds would come in and take them over.
Well, you know, they've been trying to abolish all that for that exact reason. The feds want to come in and take them over.
Yeah.
So the feds are trying to abolish the states' rights to have a militia. Like, that's actively happening. I've seen something like a couple years ago that like the Supreme Court was trying to like overturn that or whatever. Like something like that.
Well, the Supreme Court can't overturn it. It has to be voted on through Congress, and at very high numbers. It's just not the majority rule, like 3/4 or something.
If voting works.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, Sir KR is back, so let's go up to 1864.
1864, the Battle of Trevilian Station, the bloodiest and largest all-cavalry battle of the American Civil War in Louisa County, ends with Confederate tactical victory and Union successful retreat.
Huh. Well, we lost. That's not good.
Yeah.
Oh. Only cavalry battle, or all cavalry battle. Let's see here. That was 1864. Now, we're going to move on up to, Well, this one's interesting as well, 1864. I'm going to add that in. That wasn't in there yesterday. You want to take that one as well?
1864, Confederate forces at Jubal early attacked Fort Stevens, barely 4 miles from the White House, with Abraham Lincoln observing battle.
Can you imagine, like, being in the White House, just looking out the window, and there's freaking cannons 4 miles away?
Yeah.
Like, you can almost see the expressions on the people's faces 4 miles away. Like,
Yeah.
That's close. So. Moving on up into 1880, Worcester Ruby Legs pitcher Lee Richmond threw first perfect game in Major League Baseball history in a 1-0 win over the Cleveland Blues at the Agricultural County Fairgrounds in Worcester.
Nice.
Cool.
Do you know the difference between a perfect game and a no-hitter?
Like a perfect game. What do you tell us? Tell me.
27 outs.
Okay.
Zero. That's it. Nobody got on base, nothing.
Huh.
A no-hitter can be a walk, an error, so that somebody can get on base.
True. So that's the first ever perfect game in MLB history.
Yeah.
1881, just 1 year later, the USS Jeannette, under the command of George Washington D. Long. Hey, I know somebody with a name.
Hey!
Huh, I wonder if they're related. Is crushed by Arctic ice after 21 months of icebound drifting. Oh, that's a horrible ending. No.
Kidding.
Yeah. I guess you can say that's chilling.
Just stiff.
Ha. Yeah. I'm just cold. Oh. 1885, a roof collapse killed 30 at a murder trial in France. Huh. I wonder if one of those 30 was the murderer, or the suspect, or whatever.
Could have been.
That's
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like the structure killed people. Wow. Let's see here. 1889, 88 people are killed in the Armagh Rail disaster in Ireland. Train disaster. That's a lot of souls. But what do we got in 1892? Where are we? Here we go.
1892, Netherlands Society for Currency and Coin Collecting forms.
Huh. All right, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They coin collecting, whatever the name of that profession or that hobby is, or anything. And I want you to read the parentheses stuff first as well, if you don't mind.
All right. Read only if Loon is present.
What does it say?
Read only if Loon is present.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
1896, England cricket spin bowler Jack Hearn sets record for earliest date, taking 100 first-class wickets in the season when he captures 9-73 for the MCC and in an innings and 18-run drubbing of Australia's I'm lost.
Now,
What's
I
happening?
know no idea what they're talking about.
Now,
Not
see,
a clue.
I
No
already
clue.
have this like locked and loaded in the chamber for you. If you read something verbatim and you feel like you've had a stroke, don't worry, you're fine. It's only cricket.
Just cricket.
You know, you're good. I didn't
Cricket.
follow it either. That's why it's in you, because for this exact reason. He goes. How do you go?
Cricket.
There you go. Yeah. He does not like cricket because it's confusing as all
It's a
hell.
different language.
It is.
You know what they're talking about.
Yeah. The cricket, wicket, zip it, zop, bop, zip, fop, zip, dot, doo wop. Tutti frutti on Rudy. So, anyway, 1897.
1897, possibly the most severe quake in history, strikes Chasm Indian. Shock waves felt over an area size of Europe. Low mortality rate, given the size of the earthquake, 1,500 casualties.
So essentially, like the equivalent of the landmass of Europe shook. That is a massive earthquake.
Yeah.
It says here possibly the most severe quake in history. So yeah, like you know.
Well, in recorded history.
Well, yeah. Moving on up to 1898, we have Filipino revolutionary forces under General Emilio Aguinaldo proclaimed the sovereignty and independence of the Philippine Islands from the colonial rule of Spain, and now they're under our lordship. So,
China considers them theirs.
Yeah, well, I don't consider China a country. I consider them West Taiwan. So, 1898, we got that one. 1899, New Richmond tornado, the 8th deadliest tornado in U.S. history, killed 117 people and injured around 200 more. Yikes. And we have the turn of the century right back to the King's Refuge.
1900, in Germany, the Reichstag passed the Second Navy Bill, which calls for doubling the German Navy within 20 years.
That's alarming.
Oh boy, they're ramping up or something.
Yeah, I wonder what.
1901, in Cuba, the Constitutional Convention, knowing that the USA will now withdraw its troops until...
Will not withdraw its troops.
Will not withdraw its troops until does so adopts the Platt Amendment as part of its constitution.
What is the Platt Amendment, people may ask?
What is the Platt Amendment?
On March 2nd, 1901, the Platt Amendment was passed as part of the 1901 Army Operations Bill. It stipulated 7 conditions for the withdrawal of U.S. troops remaining in Cuba at the end of the Spanish-American War, and an 8th condition that Cuba signed a treaty accepting these 7 conditions. So what are these 7 conditions? Okay, here we go. Preamble for the recognition of the independence of the people of Cuba, demanding that the government of Spain relinquish its authority and government in the island of Cuba and withdraw its land and navy forces from Cuba and Cuban waters, and directing the President of the United States to use the land and naval forces of the United States to carry these resolutions into effect. The President is hereby authorized to, quote, leave the government in control of the island of Cuba to its people, in quotes, so soon as the government shall have been established in said island under a constitution which, either as part thereof or in an ordinance appended thereto, shall define the future relations of the United States with Cuba. So basically puppet government, essentially.
Kicking Spain out.
Yeah. I'm going to add that in the underbar here. I'm not going to read all of this, so this is why I'm adding in this link, because if anybody's interested in all this stuff and how much we screwed over, because we used the false flag attack to declare a war with Spain to begin with. The whole thing is based off of a false pretense. So we essentially stole it. We robbed them.
Well,
you know.
The reality of this, though, the intention is to return it back to the Cuban people. Now,
Under the guise of returning it.
Yeah. Obviously, we influenced it greatly, but it's probably not what happened 100% what should have happened, but that was our intent.
Well, that was our intent, but then you go back to the whole war itself and then how we got involved with it. The whole thing was a giant lie. So it was all just a way to utilize war to essentially mug Cuba from Spain.
To mug Cuba, to kick Spain out.
Yeah, we mugged them. We stole their stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
but that's not the Cuban people. That's the Spanish.
but you get my points.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Anyway, what do we got here? 1902. This is a good one.
1902, Australian Parliament agrees to Commonwealth Franchise Act, granting female suffrage.
All right, let's give a cheer to the female Australians. Now they can vote.
Yeah.
You got another 1902 here, and then I'll take 1903.
1902, Horn and Hardette opens its first automat self-serving restaurant in the U.S. on Chestnut Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
So essentially, they're like when you go to hospitals or airports or whatever, like there's those areas they have like the sandwiches like in like the spinny thing, or like they just have the pre-made food, like you find them in. Basically, it's an entire restaurant full of that. It's all pre-made stuff. You just go in, or basically like what you see in a college. It's all the stuff pre-made. You just go up with your plates, and then you buy it, and then you eat.
Yeah.
So it's all self-service restaurant.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Moving on to 1903, Niagara Falls.
Slowly I turn.
Niagara Falls. Slowly I turn. Abbott and Costello. Look it up. Ontario was incorporated as a city. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, so Canada right
What
there.
year again?
1903.
Wow, that's late.
Yeah. Also in 1903, the Sigma Alpha Iota International Music Fraternity was founded at the University of Michigan School of Music. All right. So SAIIMF. SAIMF? Huh. That's an interesting name. 1907, the Yankees committed 11 errors and lost 14-6 to the Tigers. Whoops. That's a lot of errors, right? Like 11 errors?
I don't know. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's over 1 an inning. Not good.
Okay, yeah. 1908, the Lusitania crossed Atlantic in a record 4 days and 15 hours. They arrived in New York. The Lusitania, yes.
Oh, jeez.
Well,
it made that voyage.
Yeah. Well, the Lusitania was, I believe, a sister ship to the Titanic. They're the same class.
Well, yeah, but the Lusitania was sunk before the Titanic.
Yes. No. Hold on. When was the Lusitania sunk? Oh. 1915, because the Titanic sunk in 1912, right?
Yes, I believe you're right.
Because that was the year Nana was born.
Yeah, 1912.
And then the Lusitania was sunk by a German torpedo because and there was a lot of U.S. citizens there, and that was our excuse to get into World War One. And then there's a whole Mandela effect about some munitions plant exploding in the port of New York that damaged the Statue of Liberty, but that's not in any documented history. That's a Mandela effect, and that's actually a more concrete evidence of the idea that we might have slipped into another reality. But that's a whole different topic of discussion. But Lusitania was indeed carrying arms and armor, munitions, whatever, and
which we denied, but they were.
Yeah, so the United States officially declaring a stance of neutrality, but then supplying one side of the war.
Yeah.
Germany had every right to sink the Lusitania. They had every right to kill our citizens. As it turns out. But then we utilized that as a way to wave the flags, get over there, and and continue our oppression. Like the U.S. was in no way on the right side during World War One. As far as
you left me there.
As far as our excuse to get into it, as far as what our actions were, prior to our involvement. No,
obviously not. But you still sink a ship with an American flag, you got to react. You were caught with your pants down, but you're not going to say that.
Yeah. No. Anyway, 1917, the U.S. Secret Service extended protection of the president to include his family. So that's when it was, Yeah. 1918, we have the first aerial bombing raid by a American unit in France. So, aerial warfare bombing.
Yeah.
So, but that's by an American unit. The very first use of an aircraft, I believe, as a bombing thing, was actually in some Turkish war just prior to the outbreak of the First World War.
Oh, really?
I believe so.
Interesting.
Let me look this up. First use of offensive aircraft in warfare. Let's see here. Aviation. That's World War One. Well, that's just gonna tell me about First World War. But maybe I wasn't thinking about offensive capabilities. Maybe reconnaissance. I'm not sure.
Reconnaissance makes sense.
Well,
That's when they first started using
use of
aircraft.
aircraft in war. History of aerial warfare. Actually, history bombs doesn't really cover it specifically. That's going to be a rabbit hole. Anyway, let's move on up to 1920. Sir King, you want to take another turn?
1920, 52nd Belmont, Clarence Coomer, aboard Man o' War, wins by massive 20 lengths and world record 2:14.2.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 14.2 seconds. And that is a boat race, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
alright.
Yeah. So 20 lengths. So he won by 20 other boats between him and second place, which is really good.
Oh, that's
Vegas.
huge.
Yeah. And you have another 20 here.
1922, Browns pitcher Hub Pruitt strikes out future Baseball Hall of Fame slugger Babe Ruth 3 consecutive times at the St. Louis. Beats New York Yankees 7-1 at Sportsman's Park, St. Louis.
That's a spread right there.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, he
Took
skipped
down
over
the
here.
Babe.
Sorry?
He took down the Babe.
Yeah, 3 consecutive times. Huh. The Great Bambino. Oh, that's Babe Ruth? You're killing me,
That's Babe
Smalls.
Ruth.
Yeah. No, we're referring to The Sandlot.
Oh,
Have you ever seen that movie?
I think I have, yeah.
Some lady.
Yeah, King and I
named
here
Baby
saw
Ruth.
Sandlot not too long ago. But we skipped over this other 1920. A Farmer Labor Party was organized in Chicago, and I want to look them up. That sounds really interesting. Farmer Labor Party, a true political party of the people, the salt of the earth. You know? It says here the first modern labor party in the U.S. emerged in Minnesota in 1918. So interesting. It was dissolved in 1936, preceded by Labor Party of the United States, succeeded by the Federated Farmer Labor Party, Minnesota Farmer Labor Party. Ideology, populism, and social democracy. Political position is left wing. Oh, huh.
I would think, and I don't have my facts 100% straight, but I would think farming was the backbone of this country, which obviously was.
It's the backbone of every nation. You can't have a populace without food.
But as World War I came in and industrial manufacturing picked up for war, it kind of overtook the farming. Now, I don't have my years exactly right, but I think that's somewhere in that line. So they were, and by 1918, the farmers weren't as powerful as they would have been 20 years earlier.
Yeah, well, advances in technology and everything. You need less for more output and everything. So, I don't even want to get on my whole, the rant building up in my brain involving Monsanto and everything. So, anyway, let's move on up to 1923.
1923, Harry Houdini frees himself from a straitjacket while suspended upside down 40 feet above the ground in New York City.
All right. So it's just Harry Houdini,
Well, it's amazing how well his name is known even today.
Yeah.
100 years later.
Yeah.
He was a great
Escape artist.
thank you. Magician.
Yeah.
I was trying to say magician, and then my mouth was trying to say mathematician or musician. And it's just like, no, those all start with M, but only one is right.
No, he wasn't a musician. He was a magician.
I know, a magician.
Yeah.
Not a musician or a mathematician.
Right.
Yeah. I was...
Gotcha.
Anyway, 1926, Brazil left the League of Nations. That's not good. And then 1928, the New York Yankees future Baseball Hall of Fame first baseman Lou Gehrig collected 14 total bases with 2 triples and 2 home runs in a 15-7 win over Chicago White Sox. All right, yeah, good old Lou Gehrig. Poor guy ended up with a disease named after him. What a legacy. So, you go figure. Like, you think Arnold Palmer got the bum deal, about being a great golfer and just being known for a drink.
Yeah.
This guy was a great baseball player. He's known for a disorder.
Have you ever seen him, that speech at the baseball stadium?
I consider myself the luckiest man on earth. Yeah. 1930, German boxer Max Schmeling defeated Jack Sharkey by disqualification in 4 rounds in New York City for vacant NBA, NYSAC, the ring, and the lineal heavyweight titles. First time title was won by a foul. Huh. That's not really winning a title. You're just, by default, you're getting it.
Well, depending what the foul was, if he hit him in the nuts,
True. 1931, Al Capone was indicted on 5,000 counts of prohibition and perjury. Yikes. They really want to put him away.
Yeah.
What's going on involving a certain man of the Cheeto color? Nothing compared to this. Oh. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
The Cheeto color?
Cheeto man.
Orange man. Who's gonna build a wall?
Orange man bad.
Trump!
Oh, okay.
How are you not picking up?
The orange man, that went right
Because
over
he's
my
orange! Oh my goodness. He's a Canadian, folks. Anyway, 1933, Financial and Economy World Conference opened with 66 countries. All right. So, World Economic Forum. Watch out. New World Order happening right there.
Yeah.
What do we got here in 1934?
1934, Black McKellar Bill passes cause the breakup of William Boeing's empire into Boeing United Aircraft Technologies and United Airlines.
So back when monopolies were not legally allowed to operate. So.
Yeah, right.
As opposed to today. And, today they're probably back under the same banner. They're just 2 different entities, but they have an umbrella company or something over them.
Yeah, it's
Kinda
totally
how
not
Google
like
created Alphabet,
3 or 4 countries.
Yeah.
3 or 4 companies ruin the whole entire world.
Yeah.
We have so many choices.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the dead internet theory plays into that. That the internet is just a Potemkin village. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, you got a filibuster here in 35.
1935, Senator Huey Long of Louisiana speaks continuously for 15 and a half hours in the Senate's longest speech. 150,000 words.
Wow.
She got up there and read one of the Harry Potter books, pretty much.
The whole series.
Yeah. 50. I can't even imagine talking that long without losing my voice.
I want to say a joke, but it'll get me in trouble. Yeah. I'll just say I can't imagine a man talking that long, but apparently he can.
Now you're in trouble anyways.
No, I'm in trouble anyways.
Cancel.
Take him off the air.
Cancel. Anyway, 1936, we have the first 50 kilowatt U.S. radio station in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's I don't know how significant 50 kilowatts is, but it's the first of that, so interesting. 365
That's crazy.
days later.
How far are we coming in 100 years?
Yeah. 1937 here, after a one-day show trial, 8 Soviet generals are sentenced to death and executed by the NKVD, the predecessor to what was
KGB?
KGB, thank you. Yeah. So, and good old Stalin. So, yeah, that's during the Purge. The Great Purge. 1939, we have Baseball Hall of Fame is dedicated in Cooperstown, New York. All right. And also in 1939, shooting began on Paramount Pictures' Dr. Cyclops, the first horror film photographed in 3-strip Technicolor. Huh.
Ooh, color.
And actually, there's a really cool video that I want to see again when TV switched to color.
Again, how far are we come in 100 years, you know?
Yeah, but see, this is really interesting. Like, this is the moment the various TV channels, stations and all.
When they got the technology to turn to color.
Hey, Iowa!
Oh yeah, hey.
Yay!
Let's see. Check this out here.
Viewers who will still be watching this in black and white.
Color.
Well, we think you'll see a big difference on black and white receivers. The new color cameras will give an improved monochrome picture, and all our new color sets here in the studio were designed with that in
I
mind.
was thinking of. Hold on a
Talking
second.
about color.
Yeah, he is, but I'm trying to find a specific one. Oh well, I'm not going to find it. But it provides a lot of examples where, like live, not
Yeah.
live, but like
When they flipped it.
It's not like the station went down and then they unplugged something and then they
just flipped
plugged
it in.
They literally as you're watching, it just went from black and white to color. Like,
Only if you had a color TV.
yes.
I remember going up to my friend's house to watch a color TV.
Yeah.
Huh.
And the darn thing was as big as his desk. It was huge.
Yeah. Why can't I find it? Oh, well, whatever. Let's move on up here. I'm going to take 1942 here because we have a out of main source article here. So we have 1942. Anne Frank got her diary as a birthday present in Amsterdam. Here we go. The diary of Anne Frank. This is how it started. And while that was happening, and as I said, this is not in our main source. We have 1939, 42 Anne Frank, 42 a tornado, and then 44. But also in 42, Hitler ordered the enslavement of Slavic peoples.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Which actually, that's the origin of the title Slav, is they were slaves. That their entire ethnicity were subjugated, and I'm not talking about just World War II. I'm talking about the
Right.
origins
Yes.
of the name Slav comes from slave.
Gotcha.
Huh.
So, yeah. Actually, let's see here. Origin of what Slav means. Slavs, or Slavic people, are groups of people who speak Slavic, yada yada. Slavs are geographically... It's not telling me that. So that's going to require some rabbit hole digging. So, anyway, 1944, we have some space stuff here, actually, potentially. Right back to you, Mr. King.
1944, first V-1 rocket assault on London.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep. So, and a V-2 rocket was the first man-made object to reach space.
Now,
What a legacy,
wow.
a weapon of war. So,
well, that's where technology thrives.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
unfortunately.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1949, Kwame Nkrumah announces the foundation of Guyana's Convention People's Party, CPP, the word convention chosen to carry the masses with us.
Sounds like communism to me.
Yes. Yeah.
Especially with C and P, CPP.
Yeah.
So is that the Color
Yeah.
People's Party?
No, the Convention of People's Party.
Oh.
Communist Party, CP.
Yeah. Well, that's one version of that initial.
Yes.
Oh,
One
yikes.
version.
1950. Let's move on up.
1952, Air France DC-4s crashed near Bahrain. About
100 died.
100 died.
Yep. In the skies of Bahrain. You got another 50. This guy always looks like a zombie.
1950, following his retirement announcement after 49 years as a Philadelphia athletics manager, Connie Mack is named honorary manager of the MLB All-Star Game.
All right. And I want his hat.
All
That's a
right.
cool hat.
That's like a straw hat, huh?
It is a straw hat. That's like a barbershop quartet hat.
Yeah.
I want one. Oh. Moving on up to 1952, the USSR declared their peace treaty with Japan was invalid. Of course they did, because they only did that. Japan only wanted peace with Russia. They only wanted an end to World War II. in turn because of the bombs, but that wasn't their main fear. It was the Russians. They only accepted peace with us, so that way Russians will stop. Otherwise, we'll come in and intervene. You know.
Yeah.
So
they didn't want to surrender to the Russians.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't just that, but Russia was more of a threat to them than our bombs.
There's some still Japanese-Russian land disputes.
Yeah. Well, 1954, Bill Haley and his Comets released a single, "Rock Around the Clock Tonight." Right song, right?
Yep, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the origin of rock and roll is "Rock Baby Rock, Roll Baby Roll."
Their song.
No, Bill Haley and his Comets too?
Yeah.
So they invented rock and roll.
The name.
The genre.
Yeah.
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 Interesting. Really cool. 1955, Monitor, a full weekend program. So, basically a show that goes on the whole weekend. Began on NBC Radio Network. Let's see here. I told myself to look it up, so let's look it up here. Monitor, full weekend program. Broadcast live and nationwide on the NBC Radio Network from June 12, 55 until January 26. So, until January 6, 1975. So for 20 years, every weekend, the whole weekend, they had this show. It began originally on Saturday morning at 8 in the morning and continued through the weekend until 12 midnight on Sunday. After the first few months, the full weekend broadcast was shortened when the midnight to dawn hours were dropped since few NBC stations carried it. So, Alright. So Monitor, full weekend program. That's really ambitious to have a project of that, that
length.
Yeah, that length of that mass, I guess.
Yeah, look, all the airtime you got to fill in. Holy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've told me the stories about when they thought what's his face, Ted Turner was crazy for creating a news network. It's like
24-hour news. What are you, nuts?
Yeah. You can't tell the news for an entire 24 hours.
What are you going to fill up the air with?
Yeah.
You can't do it.
And now it's all just opinion pieces and fashion and pop culture and just nothing but trash, and trash to occupy your brain. So, yeah. 1957. Go for it.
1957, Stan Musial plays the 823rd game, new NL consecutive game streak.
Yeah, the National League. So, 823 consecutive games. So he didn't take a game off, didn't take any breaks.
Yeah.
Can you imagine playing 823 games? Not necessarily one after the other, but it's your consecutive. If you're coming in, you're coming in.
Man.
Yeah.
That's why he's known as the Iron Man.
Yeah, but we're gonna be talking about a consecutive game. It was in number 2 in the spots as of my source here stating that it was over 1,000 games. So, but let's go on up into 63 here.
1963, American civil rights activist Medgar Evers is assassinated by the white supremacist Byron D. La Beckwith in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah, I don't remember the white supremacist.
I don't know who Medgar Evers is.
Huh?
I don't know who Medgar Evers is.
Yeah, no. He's well known for being killed.
He was born in Mississippi. Okay, he became involved in the civil rights movement, and he worked to end segregation and promote voting rights for black U.S. citizens. That's about it. He was just.
And he was killed by.
Yeah. Well, we just talked about that. So he
fought
equality. He fought for equality.
Yeah.
So. He was like you have the big names Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, Abraham Lincoln. You have all these big names, and then then you have all the people that they're fighting for. But then there are middlemen, which I think this is what he's not a faceless. He's not part of the faceless masses,
right?
But he's not part of the big guys at the top. He's an intermediary. His name is known, but not that well, unfortunately. So, but you missed over this Cleopatra one here.
See, I know his name because.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, you were there. You were alive. So.
1963, Cleopatra, directed by Joseph Mankiewicz, and starring Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, premieres in New York City. The most expensive film ever made.
Then the most expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a huge budget movie.
How
Two huge
much
actors.
was Cleopatra? Let's see here. Cleopatra. Let's see. How much did it cost, though? I don't care about the plot. I don't care about the cast. Production, development, filming. Tell me the cost. The cost of making the movie Cleopatra in 1963. Thank you. You know exactly where I was going.
Yeah.
It was just telling me the same.
13 mil.
13 mil. Okay. Oh wait, no. The cost of the cost of distribution, print, and advertising expenses added a further 13 million.
Oh.
So holy crap.
What?
In 63 money.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
to bump that up a few notches for today's money.
Yeah, well nowadays, well, not anymore, but because it's all going woke and going broke. But like this past year was the first year, I believe, that Disney has not started a $1 billion production. Like they're scaling back.
Disney is hurting. No
Disney,
question.
good, and they need to hurt and they need to go.
They're doing a lot of
Yep.
cut.
All this DEI stuff needs
Cost
to go.
cutting.
Yeah, cost
Measures.
cutting. Yeah. 1964, Nelson Mandela was sentenced to life in prison in South Africa. Yeah.
Or was he?
Well, no. Well, he was. but
Mandela effect?
Mandela
Mandela
effect is he
effect?
died in prison.
Oh, right.
Yeah, in the 90s.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Something.
Sorry, I like your energy though.
Valid question.
Yeah. 1965, the Big Bang Theory of creation of the universe is supported by announcement of discovery of new celestial bodies known as blue galaxies. And that's because of ultraviolet and light shift. Blue galaxies are farther away because the light has to travel so far, its wavelength has been stretched to a point where it's no longer red, it's blue. It's blue shift, red shift, yellow shift.
Yeah.
So the shift, it dictates distance and size, of course, and all that. So now if you see a big galaxy in the sky that's blue, then that galaxy must be beyond comprehensibly enormous, because blue means distant.
Yeah.
Big, and if it's big, that means close. But if it's big and blue, then it's very far away and it's huge. So yeah.
Did not know that.
Yep. 1965 as well, Queen Elizabeth's birthday honored list names the Beatles as MBEs, members of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire. Dozens of past winners return medals in protest. Huh. All right.
I have no idea what that means.
That means that the Beatles were given like an honor, like an MBE. Is like a medal.
Okay.
So you're getting, they're part of the members of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire. So they're being recognized as honored, British citizens and all that stuff. So in protest of the Beatles, past winners are just like, oh well, this is worthless. Basically, like how I view the Nobel Peace Prize, that was has zero value ever since the moment that was given to Barack Obama for becoming what he was based off of the color of his skin and no other credentials.
Well,
Completely
he hadn't accomplished
valueless.
anything at that point.
Yeah, no, his accomplishment was because he was black and he was president. Whoop-de-doo. That was the accomplishment. That's why he was awarded. And it's completely just destroyed the value in my eyes of that entire award, which is really unfortunate because it used to be such a prestigious thing.
Right?
But now if all you have to do is be black and do something, to get that, then what's the point? Or be white, or be Asian, or be this, or be that. You shouldn't be getting recognized based off of who you are or what you are. It's what you do that matters.
Yes,
It's all this, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to get rid of racism by putting in more racism.
Yeah, I know, right? So, anyway, I'm going to wrap up 65 years. Sonny and Cher made their first TV appearance on American Bandstand. Sonny and Cher.
Yeah.
You knew them. Well, you knew of them.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know who you knew. Well, you knew the Doors a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So,
But that,
yeah. Anyway, talk to us about 66 here.
1966, Dave Clark 1965 sets record as they appear for 12th time on the Ed Sullivan Show.
All right.
Really big shoe.
Yeah.
Really big shoe.
Now, what was that story you told me about where some band was told, don't do this, don't do that, blah, 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 and then they did it anyway, like on a show?
Yeah,
And they,
Sullivan, yeah.
yeah, okay. And they were like, you're never coming back here again. It's like, who cares? We just were. You know?
You're never going to do Ed Sullivan again.
Yeah, that's all we needed.
We already did. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yep. And here we go. Dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun. 007.
What is it, 1967? Yeah. You Only Live Twice, the 5th James Bond film starring Sean Connery. Screenplay by Ronald Dahl. Premieres in London.
Ah. All right.
Yeah, I mean, that's when they started getting good.
Yeah.
When they got Sean Connery in there.
No, Sean Connery was original. Like, he was the very first. Like, before it even...
Oh, he was?
Yeah, no, he was the guy. Like, James Bond 007 revolved around Sean Connery. Like,
I thought he was the second.
Yeah, Dr. No, before the franchise even became a franchise, the very first movie called, Dr. No, or the Mysterious Dr. No, Sean Connery played, like, James Bond or 007, like I don't even think he was called that. It was so...
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, but that was the first...
But yeah, it was a focal point on 007.
Yeah, but Sean Connery...
The name of it,
yeah, Sean Connery seems so good because the character was developed around him. So, that's why. I know a lot more about pop culture than I thought I did. That's interesting. You got another 67 here. This is a good one.
In the case of Loving versus Virginia, United States Supreme Court unanimously strikes down laws against interracial marriages.
Let's give that a cheer.
Yeah, man.
Laws against interracial marriages. Strike down. Hell yes.
Good.
Yes.
Well, wait,
'Cause we're
what
all
we got
people.
there?
We're all humans on this earth.
We're all humans.
Yeah.
Two people want to be miserable together, let them do it.
Yeah. And if they want to get married and have the government, you can put their camel's nose in there.
Exactly.
Well, you know what I feel about the government. Sticking their nose into our lives. Don't care for it.
Yeah. You don't feel as much as I do, though. No. I mean, your feelings, about it are very strong.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. Anyway, 1970, rocker and blues singer Janis Joplin debuted in Kentucky. All right.
Nice.
Janis Joplin.
If you ever want to see her at her best, what is it? The Monterey Pop Festival. I forget what year it was. And she was really, she's in like a woman's jumpsuit. So before she even was wearing all her craziness, but the soul in that song that she sings is unreal. Monterey Pop Festival, Janis Joplin. Don't look it up now, but it's worth looking
I'm
at.
not going to play it now, but I want to watch it, like, later.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is this
Cue it up.
wearing?
yeah.
See, I mean, it's really, still out of the, before she went crazy. Well, she was always crazy, I guess, but yeah.
Well, this is before she allowed her craziness to physically manifest.
Yeah.
Like, this was when she had to hold herself back.
That will tell you why she is the queen of rock and roll. She's absolutely the soul of rock and roll.
Yeah. Well, you have the queen of rock and roll. We have the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
Which they weren't married.
No, in different times.
Yeah. Huh. But 1972, Apple Records released John Lennon and Yoko Ono, political album, sometime in New York City in U.S. Included studio recordings of songs "Woman Is the N-Word of the World." Here we go again.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is a
right.
Holy shit.
And this word is being broadcast on YouTube right now. This is not. It's from our source. It's on this website. I'm not doing it. It's not my fault. Don't yell at me. Attica State and Luck of the Irish and some live tracks from 1971 concert with Frank Zappa.
Oh.
So yeah, good old Zappa. But interesting thing. It's already been a year apparently. But the last time we spoke about that particular song, You remember MTM? You know the beard? KR?
Yeah.
He made a joke saying, "Oh, it was obviously a mistype. Woman is the nagger of the world." You meant to put an A in there, not an I.
So, yeah.
But that's not good either, you know. But
That doesn't work well, no.
no, so
Ew, slightly better.
yikes. Anyway, let's get that off of the screen.
Yeah.
1973, Yanks trade wife swapper Mike Quiche for Lowell Palmer. Well, if you can't settle on a woman, you can't settle with a team. You know? I mean, seriously, a wife swapper. Like, I mean, make up your mind, dude. And I can't blame
I
you.
wonder if he traded up, though. Sorry.
Most likely.
You generally don't trade down.
No. Well, I mean, what's his face? Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, is always quote unquote trading up. Like he's married to like a woman half his age now or something crazy. Like
Yeah.
it's become a whole thing. It's kind of
He
gross.
just swaps up. I think the once they turn like 28, he gets rid of them or something like that.
Yeah, that's awful. You know, women are not a commodity.
Well, I remember when I turned 40, my dad says, "What are you going to do now, son?" I said, "Well, I'm going to go look for 220s." He
Yeah.
looked at me and says, "Son, you're not wired for 220.
But also, 1976, here we have Yes, 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 single by Bill Cosby, hits number 46. That did not age well. Oh.
Hey.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. He said yes, yes, yes. She said nothing because she was unconscious. So.
Wow.
I mean, allegedly. Like, you know. I guess, like, you know.
Gotta move on quickly.
Well, I was gonna say his
Moving
version
on.
of if the glove fits is if the cup pours. So.
And I'll tell you what, he is the funniest man I ever saw alive. Unbelievably, I was laughing so hard I got locked up. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't do it.
But
stuck.
In all honesty, jokes aside, I believe Bill Cosby is innocent. I don't think he is capable of doing that.
He's capable of anything.
Well,
You
true.
never know.
But I think he was just the biggest pillar to fall in the Me Too movement that has been since proven.
Yeah.
The majority is false allegations, false accusations. You know, it's all lies. So, anyway, what do we got here in 1977?
1977, groundbreaking ceremony for John F. Kennedy. I was reading from that. But, all right.
I'm sorry.
John F. Kennedy, Presidential Librarian and Museum in Boston, Massachusetts. Architect, IMP's design would take over 2 years to build.
Sorry for tapping over. I realized that the background music was.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah. So
I got my script here as well.
Yeah. So his Presidential Library and Museum in Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston.
Yeah, and IMPI is behind a lot of different architecture. Actually, let me see. IMPI architecture. He's made a lot of known building. The Louvre. So
Nice.
yeah, he's behind the pyramid at the Louvre, and what
Very
appears
nice.
to be this
I'll tell you what,
Chicago
that
thing.
does not fit at the Louvre at all. This modern
No.
glass pyramid with all the
No, it
ancient
doesn't.
buildings.
Yeah,
You look at it and go, oh, it sticks out like a sore thumb.
it does.
I mean, it's cool to go in that way and all the light it brings in to the museum. But outside, if you go into a courtyard and that big, huge thing's there, oh, it's ugly.
Yeah, like I still I'm on the I agree with you. I don't like the pyramid. I mean, like, you know, it looks cool,
What
but like
the effect
it's-
it gives for the museum is awesome.
There's
I mean, it really.
There's a
it
Bass
really is beautiful.
Pro
inside.
Shop that has a giant pyramid
well,
too.
Yeah,
I
well,
can't
they
remember.
moved into what was going to be like a mega complex for something else, right? Like,
Yeah,
I saw a
yeah.
video
They took
about
it
that
over.
the other day. But now the Memphis, right? The Memphis pyramid is now a Bass Pro Shop.
I'm not sure where it was at. I remember watching it, the video with you.
Yeah, the Memphis, Tennessee pyramid is now a Bass Pro Shop. Here it is. So that was originally going to be like a huge complex, like a mall, a sports arena, like a whole thing. It is massive in there. I mean, and it's now, the entire pyramid is now, for the most part, I believe, a Bass Pro Shop. the largest
That's
Bass Pro Shop
awesome.
in the world. In
I would
Memphis,
love to
Tennessee.
go there.
So, and it was designed as a pyramid because Memphis, Tennessee was named after Memphis in Egypt, which is an ancient Egyptian city, way back
Now, I
in the
didn't
day.
know that. Is that right?
Yes, Memphis, Tennessee was named after Memphis, Egypt, and that's why they built this whole complex originally. It wasn't for Bass Pro Shops. As I said, it was for that whole complex,
Yeah.
and it was to display the heritage of, and the origins of Memphis, Tennessee. It's
darned.
linked to Egypt.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep. And, some people might mistake this for the Luxor, especially since there's a monorail out in front of it. So,
Huh.
out in Vegas. What else do we got here? 1978.
1978, U.S. House of Representatives allows live radio coverage.
Huh. I
Mhm.
wouldn't have given them the jurisdiction of whether or not that would be allowed. Who do they think they are? But yeah, once again, once government gets into the thing, the camel's nose. Now it starts taking everything. Moving on up to 1979, Brian Allen flew a man-powered Gossamer Albatross over English Channel in a human-powered aircraft. Flight took 2 hours and 49 minutes. So
What is that?
Gossamer Albatross human-powered aircraft. So let's look this up here.
Human
really quick.
powered air. Oh yeah, let's look this puppy up.
Ah,
Oh, there you go.
it's a bicycle. You're essentially like it's the cartoonish description. You're literally on a bicycle and you're pedaling to move the propeller, and at a certain speed, the wings generate lift, and then there you go.
Yeah.
But
That looks so
Get
childish.
yeah,
I mean, obviously it works, and I don't know. It looks like something a kid drew up. Like,
True.
yeah,
well, it is.
I'm gonna
very
make a box.
rudimentary.
I'm gonna put a bike inside the box, and then I'm gonna put wings on it.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag blowing through the wind?
That's so wild. Good for him,
1979.
man. That's cool.
I
Yeah.
don't think 79 was carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber? I don't know.
Yeah, because if it wasn't, that'd be a lot heavier than it would be today.
When was carbon fiber invented? Carbon fibers. But it's not telling me when it was invented.
That's not that important.
Well, it is. I want to know. You asked a question, and it's a good question, and I want to know. But it's just telling me all the information. Tell me when it was invented. A brief history. Okay, cool. Okay, it wants me to give them a cookie, so no. All right. Well, if anybody can figure out when carbon fiber was invented, please let us know in the comment section below. We're going to move on up to 1979 here. Detroit Tigers fired manager Les Moss, hiring Sparky Anderson, who stayed until 1995. Included World Series. Okay, why is that even in there? So who cares? I thought it was going to be some fifth time he was fired or something. 1979 as well. Kevin St. Orange threw a playing card a record 185 feet in 1 inch. Record broken was later in 1992. But just
Nice.
throwing a playing card.
Yeah.
You try to throw it. It's going to catch the air and then fall within 5 feet. He 185 feet. How do you do that?
That's incredible.
That is
yeah.
wow. 1979 as well. Opening a ceremony at Cambridge Buddhist Association Meditation in Boston, Massachusetts. Cool. Oh. And hey, perfect timing. Right back to Sir K.
Hey, it's my birthday.
Hey, it
1981,
is,
Raiders of the
right.
Lost Ark. The first Indiana Jones film, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Harrison Ford, with story by George Lucas premiered.
All right.
That was
That's
awesome.
classic.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
It's just awestruck to see that movie.
Now, there's a whole theory that the entirety of the Indiana Jones... Now, the first 3 movies, at least, because the Crystal Skull was crap, and then this new one was crap, and they're still making ones, and they're all crap. But at least, back in the time when they were making Star Wars and Indiana Jones in the same time frame within the 70s and 80s, there's a theory that the entirety of Indiana Jones is all a fever dream of Han Solo while he's trapped in carbonite.
Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, I meant Star Wars. You said Indiana Jones, and I'm thinking Star Wars.
Oh.
I said the technology was incredible about Star Wars.
Oh
You're
yeah,
afraid
imagine
you'll
seeing
love to
Star
see it,
Wars
don't get me
for the
wrong.
first time. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
That had just been wild.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
saw it in theaters, like when the ship came over. Like,
oh, he just
Yeah,
went,
man.
"Whoa."
That just, I can't even imagine having my mind blown like that.
And you literally did. Your mind was blown.
yeah. Now here's something interesting, and this is why the theory exists, because there's one scene where a hieroglyph depicts C-3PO and R2-D2
Oh.
amongst the hieroglyphs. So it looks like the Snake Temple or whatever he
Yeah.
was in. So that's why it went in, because he remembers, and his subliminal put what he knew of the real world, which was Star Wars, into his dream, which was Indiana Jones. He was dreaming that he was an explorer on this far off planet called Earth.
So many things are slipped into movies from the art departments or whatever, just for EOS.
Yeah.
So you don't know.
Well, now obviously you're more factually correct, but there's of course the
It makes it fun. It makes it fun.
Yeah. So, what else do we got here? Another 1981.
1981, only candidate Hassan Gould Apitan wins Djibouti presidential. Oh, wow. The only candidate.
You're going to laugh. It's actually pronounced Djibouti.
Djibouti.
Djibouti. Djibouti, yeah.
Djibouti.
Hey, let's go to Djibouti. What? Huh? I'm sorry, bro. I don't sing that way. No, I mean like the city. Oh, okay.
Do that many people not want the job, or
Yeah. Well,
it's just like, it's fine. I'll be president. It's fine.
yeah. Well,
I'll do it.
How many times have I had to reluctantly accept responsibilities of things?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Well, moving on up to 1986. Here we go.
1986, P.W. Botha declares South African national emergency. What was that for?
Apartheid. P.W. Botha, was one of the most notorious leaders and proponents of South Africa's apartheid system. So he declared a state of emergency to shut down all the native blacks, on their own land. And I keep getting because of the initials P.W. Botha confused with F.W. de Klerk. P.W. Botha is an extremist for apartheid.
Yeah.
F.W. de Klerk worked with Nelson Mandela to end apartheid.
Okay.
I'm thinking of P.W. Barton, the ringmaster.
Barnum and Bailey. Yeah.
Barnum.
Yeah. Which he's the one who said a sucker is born every minute.
Yeah.
So, which he's right, but that doesn't
He's
necessarily mean to exploit him.
he definitely underplayed that.
Yeah. So. Anyway, moving on up to 1987, Central African Republic ex-emperor Jean Bedel Bakosa is sentenced to death. And well, that's because right here, you can.
Remember him.
He was a dictator.
Yes, of
Bakosa.
course.
Look at this fool.
Yeah, everybody was starving to death.
Gold.
Yeah.
No. You want to know how bad this guy was? For his inauguration.
I want the hat, though.
Because I think that's what this picture is from, his inauguration. He spent so much money, and it was so extravagant, it was something like 1/3 of the entire nation's GDP. For himself.
Yeah.
He's such a evil.
How much that statue alone costs? Oh my
So here we
god.
go. Attempting to emulate his idol, Napoleon Bonaparte, Bokassa had himself declared the Emperor of the Central African Republic. His coronation was unbelievably decadent. He spent some $20 million, more than a third of the country's national income, on the occasion. No foreign leaders attended, and he was considered a laughingstock by much of the world. Like, what a loser. What a loser.
Yeah, when Napoleon's your fucking hero, like, it's not gonna last long.
Napoleon was not a bad guy, really. I mean, like, yeah, he went crazy and everything, but, like, I don't know. I don't know much about Napoleon, but he wasn't a psychopath like some other leaders, like this guy here,
Yeah.
or a certain funny mustache man from Austria who just could not get into an art college, So, and let's not forget, of course, Benito Mussolini. But anyway, let's move on
Just
up
let the
here.
poor guy paint his dogs.
Yeah. 1987 as well, U.S. President Ronald Reagan challenged Mikhail Gorbachev to tear down the Berlin Wall.
Yeah.
Tear down that wall,
Hold on a second. I have to play the guy.
Mr.
Yeah,
Gorbachev.
The political powers to be
Mr.
made
Yeah.
take that line out, and he put it back in during the speech.
Oh,
No, you can't say that.
Mr.
President, you can't say
Gorbachev,
that.
tear.
All his writers and everything.
yeah.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Tear it down. Reagan smash.
smash.
Reagan smash.
What's that?
Oh, it's just Reagan. Just leave him alone. He'll tire himself out.
Reagan
He'll tire himself out.
sleepy.
Fine.
I just have to play it. It's so funny. So, in 1988, Andy Hampton was the first U.S. citizen to win round of Italy. So that has to be some kind of like tennis or something. I don't know. No. 88 as well. Soviet Union held its first beauty pageant, or its first beauty content. What? Hold on a second.
Contest, it should be.
It's still content.
Misspelled.
Yeah.
It should be contest.
Yeah, it should be. I think, or is it just beauty content? Like, are they making content? Like how this is content that we're making? Like, should I look beautiful?
You have a picture over there, so it looks like a contest.
That looks like a very, very chaos smile there. That I think she has a knife in the other hand or something. She's like, I'm gonna kill you.
Do you have
so
any idea how sore your face is
Oh,
after you smile for 48 hours through a beauty contest? Nothing but smiles the whole time.
yeah, but now your
You have to
face.
train for it.
Yeah, but now your face got those gains, bro. Does your face even lift? Face lift? I don't know. But anyway, 16-year-old Maria Kalininia was crowned the winner.
16 years old. Holy
16 years
cow.
old. She looks in her 20s.
Yeah, she does.
That just really shows like how the toll on like the body living in the Soviet Union does. Like people age. The harder your life is, the more you age. So, yeah. Anyway, 1990. Let's go back to Sir King here. Actually, 1988.
see.
Sorry, not this one here. Sorry.
1988? 1988. And, okay. 1988, Soviet Union holds its first. Oh, wait, we get that.
The next
1988, the Republic of Ireland beats England 1-0 at Euro 88, thanks to a headed goal by Ray Huington. This is Ireland's first competitive match at major football tournament.
Yep, and we're not talking
All
about
right,
hand
cool.
egg. We're talking about soccer.
Yeah.
So.
The football.
Yeah. And now the
Football.
camera is completely unfocused. So, alright, I'm just going to be unfocused then. Now we're
Sorry.
going to 1990. Where,
Ah, yes. 1990, Orioles' Cal Ripken plays his 1,308th consecutive game to move past Everett Scott's into second place of all-time list.
Alright, so all-time, and that's MLB. So all-time MLB consecutive games played. Let's check this out here. What's the number? Let's see. List of Major League Baseball consecutive games played leader. Cal Ripken Jr. at 2,632.
Well, he kept going. He wasn't done. That article was done.
Oh,
Jeez.
okay. Wow. So yeah, he more than doubled it.
Yeah.
Then we have Lou
Hey,
Gehrig
broke-
and Everett Scott
broke
is
it,
now in
broke it.
Well,
third.
we did the Lou Gehrig earlier.
Yeah, and Lou
Yeah.
Gehrig kept going into 2,100. Oh. And ended of September 19th, 1998. So wow, within 8 years, he more than doubled his consecutive game streak. So he just never stopped.
No, kept playing every day.
Yeah, that's motivation. That's impressive.
Yeah,
Here we
man,
go.
get stuff done.
Boris Yeltsin.
It was 1991, Boris Yeltsin wins Russia's first Russian Federation. The Russian Federation. Okay. Presidential election with 57% of the vote. Ooh, wow.
Yeah, this is after the collapse of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
So, one regime goes out, another has to take its place.
There was hope that it turned into more of a democracy. That was the thinking of that.
Well,
The powers be didn't let it happen.
it's not just the powers that be, but the people, let it happen. Now you can say, oh, well, they're oppressed. Well, you know what? So were we, but we did something about it. France was oppressed, so they did something about it. What's Russia's problem? What's China's problem? To some degree, they support it. I'm sorry. Until they stand up for themselves, they support it. Actions speak louder than words. So, we have a off of main article or off of main source article here, but you have the script, so you can read it, Sir King. It's the exclamation point in 1991.
Oh yeah, 1991 NBA Finals. Oh, brave. Bro, I used to watch basketball so much back in the day when Jordan was playing, and then once he quit, I just lost interest. But anyways, here we go. Chicago Bulls beat LA Lakers 108-101 in Game 5 for the first three straight titles. MVP Michael Jordan in his first NBA Finals appearance.
Now, before the loon says anything, I just have to say it. You have to say his name right. Michael Jordan!
Well, I was gonna say,
man.
now that we're on
Those
the
were the
NBA,
days.
really sad note for today, on this day. Jerry West, the logo, passed away. Yeah.
Like today, or
Today.
in history?
Today. So he'll be in history.
Jerry West, the guy, the logo of the NBA, the guy like jumping, that's Jerry West.
No, he's kind of
Or dribbling, or whatever. Yeah. NBA logo, hold on a second. NBA logo, Jerry West. Yeah, this guy right here.
Yeah.
Like that's a depiction right there, straight up out of a photograph for the NBA logo. So he died today. Like
today.
This is news. This
Today.
is news.
It's not history, it's news.
I am heartbroken.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was too.
A moment of silence, everybody, please. All right. I don't know what the going rate of a moment of silence is, but
He's the only player to win the most valuable player in the NBA championships and lost.
Huh.
It always goes to the winner.
Huh.
That's how he stood out in
Wow.
these games.
Yeah. Now, I am still in this. I'm still in support of an East and West logo, but the overall NBA logo will still be Jerry West. But I'm in support of how they have East and West divisions, in everything. Well, at least in football and basketball, to my knowledge. I'm not sure what it's like in baseball, what it's like in hockey, what it's like in soccer, whatever. But I'm in full support of the keeping the NBA logo the way it is. But for the West, we have Kobe Bryant, and for the East, we have Michael Jordan.
So division logos.
Division logos. I'm all in support of that at the very least. So, what say you guys?
No, I just say keep the logo the same. Don't change anything.
Well, yeah, I'm saying
there aren't logos. There aren't logos for divisions.
Why not?
Well, first off, this is sellable. Anything official NBA jerseys or anything is going to have that logo on it.
Yeah, but then you could have another logo, and then you could be like, "Oh, I like that."
It diminishes the meaning of a logo. You know why? Yeah, well, each team has a logo, so there is some validity to it. Okay.
You just proved my point without me even realizing it.
I brought something new into the conversation.
I didn't even think about that.
I don't mind saying, okay, there is this, so
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why not have Kobe Bryant be the West and Michael Jordan be the East, and then keep Jerry West for the overall. So it's just. What about you? What say you, King?
Yeah, I think I like your idea, and also to add to that, it could add a rivalry.
Yeah, because there already is East versus West rivalry. Rivalry.
Yeah.
Rivalry.
Yeah.
Right now, the NBA finals are going on. The East is playing the West.
Wow, what a time for him to die.
The Mavericks are from the West. The Celtics are in the East.
Yeah. There you go. So
that's how it works.
Yeah. Then you can have the Kobe's versus the Jordans.
Yeah. Anything that creates a rivalry thing for sports is good.
It's not crazy.
Anyway, let's move on up here. 1994, Cab Calloway suffers. Oh, I don't care about that. Who cares about celebrities suffering strokes? 1994, Moshood Abiola declared himself lawful president of Nigeria. That sounds like a self-service there. Oh. And then 1996, 3 Philadelphia Fed court judges overturned U.S. indecency ban on internet. Huh. That is a rabbit hole and a half I'd like to personally go down. Especially with SOPA and PEPA and how the internet is so heavily monitored and regulated and commercialized nowadays. Like, it's so funny. Like, back, in the, early 2000s and everything, we were always saying, and I was, just getting out of high school, just getting into college, we were all saying, oh, well, this is, the internet's a wild west, it's going to get commercialized, it's going to get oppressed, it's going to, what we're living in, is in today's world, looking back at that, it's like, that's all true. I knew it was true back then, but it's one thing to know it, it's another thing to live it.
Yeah, true.
And you take the internet of old and compare it to the internet of today, you might as well go to another planet. Like, it was so different, so free, so open. And now everybody's just trying to figure out, how to utilize it to make money. They're not putting, things out for the sake of putting things out. They're figuring out how to make money off. There's no originality. There's no want to just do things. Now you have to make something of it. Why? Like that's the whole purpose of doing all these shows. Monetization and ad revenue and all this stuff. Yeah, it'd be nice to make some money off of this, but that's not why we're doing this. We're doing this for the sole reason of, the surface level. We want to have fun. We want to make a video. We want to educate people. We're doing things. We're doing what we want with what we have for the sake of doing them for what we want and what we have. Not for the sake of money.
Let's get back on track.
No.
This is on track, We're talking about indecency ban on internet.
I got it.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, 1996, Marge Schotz gave up day-to-day operations because of her numerous insensitive comments about Adolf Hitler, working women, and Asians. So, working women, we're talking about prostitutes, I believe. So she had to go. But what do we got here in 97?
We're going with Batman and Robin, directed by Joel Schumacher, starring George Clooney and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Chris O'Donnell, premieres in Los Angeles.
That's when Arnold Schwarzenegger was Mr. Freeze with his puns. Yeah. Chill out.
For some reason.
Yeah. He did not. I don't know why they made him Mr. Freeze. Like, they should have made him Bane, if anything. Like, when was Mr. Freeze like a yoked up, Austrian guy? That makes no sense. So,
tall, skinny, and bald. No, let's go with the Arnold Schwarzenegger. No.
Yeah. We have some more baseball here for you.
All right, the 1997 first ever baseball regular season interleague game. San Francisco Giants beat the Texas Rangers 4-3.
All right. Yeah. So regular season interleague game, whatever that means.
Yeah. Well, they used to, there's the National League and American League. They never played each other.
Oh.
Yeah, the only time they played each other was in the World Series.
Huh.
So now they have
interleagues. Oh. Okay. And while that was happening, what else happened across the pond, as the Brits would say?
1997, Shakespeare's Globe Theatre opens in London, England. Replica of the original Globe Theatre, 1599 to 1642, with performance of Henry V after a campaign by Sam Wanamaker.
So Sam Wanamaker, what do they want to make? Well, clearly they wanted to make the Globe Theatre, so, Sam Wanamaker has been evolved to Sam Got It Done, I guess. So,
true enough.
Yeah. That's cool. The Globe Theatre, that is a historical thing.
Yeah.
Moving on up to the year 2000. Why don't you take this? You're the comic guy.
Alright, 2000 X-Men First Base on a comic book series starring Patrick Stewart, Hugh Jackman, and Ian McKellen premieres on Ellis Island in New York Harbor.
That's interesting. 2 of those 3 people have nicknames derived from their actual names. Well, not really nicknames. Patrick Stewart is Sir Patrick Stewart. He was officially knighted. And then Hugh Jackman is just a huge jacked man. So,
Yes.
yeah. But also in 2000, Sandro Rosa de Nascimento took hostages while robbing bus number 174 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The highly publicized standoff became a media circus and ended with the death of Do Nascimento and a hostage. Huh.
Was this one hostage? No.
Yeah. Well, I guess he might have, yeah. And 2002, this is not even on the main source, actually. Hold on a second. NBA Finals, Los Angeles Lakers defeated the New Jersey Nets 113-107 for a 4-0 sweep and a third straight title. MVP Shaquille O'Neal for third consecutive Finals series. I don't really know why that's up there, because that's nothing major.
We have one every year.
Yeah. But maybe because of Shaq the Diesel, you know. And it's off a main source, so I put that in there intentionally for a reason. Anyway, 2004, a 1.3 kilogram chondrite type meteorite struck a house in Ellerslie, New Zealand, causing serious damage but no injuries. So, like, the chances of getting hit by a meteor are slim, but there's still a chance. So. And in 2007, Transformers, directed by Michael Bay, Explosions by Michael Bay, and starring Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, premiered in Sydney. And while that was going on, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, a Russian novelist and historian, was awarded the State Prize of the Russian Federation for his humanitarian work by President Putin. Yep, Alexander Solzhenitsyn. Yeah, he, I think he escaped the Great Purge or something. Like, he was born in 1918, yeah. He was exiled. In his time in exile, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, he suffered at the hands of Stalin. Definitely.
Yeah.
Not really much at Lenin, because this guy was born in 1918, but Lenin died in, what, 22 or something?
I'm not sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Anyway, let's move on up to 2008's King. Back to you if you wish. This is a good album.
2008, Coldplay releases their fourth studio album, Viva La Vida, or Death, winner of 3 Grammys.
That's a good song. It's a good album.
2008, Ireland rejects the Lisbon Treaty in referendum, thus putting into question the reform program of the European Union.
Oh, man. All it takes is one, and then everything comes to a screeching halt. 2009, speaking of switching from black and white to color, we got another switch here.
Ooh.
All
No.
TSC, all television broadcasts in the United States, switched from analog to NTSC to digital ATCS transmissions.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Now, I remember there was a whole hoopla in the early 2000s, or maybe this was it. Maybe it was later than I remember. But, like, they were going on about how everybody was going to have to replace their TVs because things were going to be such a high quality that the TV would not be able to broadcast.
It's not receiving it, yeah.
Well, it's receiving it, but it can't produce the image.
Yes, yeah.
So
it's like you could only get color TV when you got a color TV.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't have cable, you had to go out and buy a brand new rabbit ears, antenna.
Yeah, go out there with foil. Have your
there was a
child stand
government
there,
program that was giving out antennas, actually.
Huh. Oh, we got something here in 2010.
2010, Toy Story 3, directed by Lee Duprich, starring Tom Hanks and Tim Allen, premieres on the Taormina Film Festival in Italy. First animated film to earn $1 billion.
$1 billion. Yeah, just 2 years later, an Australian coroner's report rules that a dingo was responsible for the death of a baby in 1980. Oh, crikey, dingo don't eat my baby.
Dingo ate my baby.
Yeah, that actually happened. So, while that was going on, we have 2 more 2012s. The chemical compound NOTT-202, which is capable of selectively absorbing carbon dioxide, is created. So that has to be useful for space travel. And the World Health Organization concluded that diesel exhaust causes cancer. No shit. Let me put my mouth around this muffler and see if I develop a tumor. Huh. I think the scientific consensus is fairly cemented with that. There.
We just now hit in 2012, like.
Yeah. I figured that out before they did. Like,
that's wild.
Wow. Well, I mean, like, if it's not officially undocumented, it's not official, so.
True.
Anyway, 2013, Russia passed a law passing gay propaganda. Or not passing, banning. Banning.
Okay.
Russia passed a law banning gay propaganda. Well, they're not the ones who traded a friggin' terrorist for a WNBA player, now are they? So, I don't know.
For real.
Like, history is going to look back on this and be
yeah,
like,
screw the soldier that's been in there way longer than here.
I know, right? 2015, Zimbabwe discarded its own currency, offering an exchange of $1 for 35 quadrillion Zimbabwean dollars. Wow. Quadrillion. That's a number that you don't see outside of a freaking, app game. Like, quadrillion. 35 quadrillion to $1. Their economy was beyond, like, how do you even, it's not even not worth it. It is, they need to invent a whole new term for the uselessness of that. That is ridiculous. Like, wow. And that's where we're going to. Oh.
Quickly, by the way.
Yeah, rapidly. 2016, Cristiano Ronaldo became the first footballer to top Forbes' highest paid athletes list, earning $88 million. Cool. Cristiano Ronaldo. And his soccer, as we call it over here.
Yeah.
And also in 2016, a gunman claiming allegiance to the Islamic State opened fire at a gay nightclub in Orlando, Florida, killing 49, injuring 53. The worst mass shooting in the U.S.
Remember that.
Yeah. And with how everything is, I don't know if he was acting on his own intentions. So. Anyway, what do we got here in 2017? Oh, this did not age well.
2017, Forbes releases the top 100 highest paid entertainers list. Sean Puff Daddy Combs at number 1 with his earnings at $130 million.
Now, I'm very ignorant to the pop industry or anything, but is this P. Diddy?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so. He looked familiar.
He's one of those guys who constantly changes his name after every mess up in his life.
Okay.
Like he gets sued and he'll change his name,
You heard about the recent P. Diddy problem, right?
No.
He's been caught on camera. Like, initially, there were accusations and all that stuff. It's been a whole, media circus kind of sort of thing. And, of course, he denies all allegations. But then they caught him on camera, his girlfriend or whatever, he knocked her down, he punched her, knocked her down, and then he was dragging her through the halls the hotel, and then drags her to an elevator or something. She's on the ground. Dragging her by the ankle. On camera. Irrefutable evidence.
Yeah.
Unless it's
nice guy, huh?
Yeah, I know, right? So, now, we have, and then he has a slew of problems, he's had, as Blonde here said, or as King here said, he's changed his name after every problem. So, but P. Diddy, he's done horrible things, I don't know the exact man, but what was it that they spoke about in the video we saw? He's pressured other artists into doing things that they were not comfortable with, and all sorts of things.
Yeah, a lot of homosexuality things he's made other rappers do in order to get careers.
Yeah.
According to many sources, including his bodyguard.
Huh. Anyway, we got another off-main source 2017 NBA Finals here.
More NBA Finals.
1917. NBA Finals, Golden State Warriors beat defending the champion Cleveland Cavaliers 129-120 in the Game 5 to win series 4-1. First time same teams had met for a third consecutive year. MVP, Kevin Durant.
Huh. All right. Oh, and here we go. This guy.
In 2017, Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny sentenced to 30 days administrative arrest for organizing rallies.
Of course. Moving on up to 2018, just 6 years ago. Wow, 2018 is 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Really?
AT&T's $85.4 billion takeover of Time Warner can go ahead according to U.S. District Court judge. That is a monopoly! No, no, no. It should not go ahead. No. Like, absolutely not. Why was this allowed? This goes directly against our anti-monopolization laws, if they're even still around. Oh. We also have a battle for key Yemen port of Hudaydah began with assault by Saudi-backed pro-government forces against Iranian-backed Houthi rebels. Oh, they're the Houthi.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard about it. Aren't they the ones who were firing missiles out of Yemen recently?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, ships.
Yeah, that's right. We also have in 2018, French photographer Jean-Claude Arnault, at center of Nobel Prize committee scandal, was charged with struggle snuggle in Sweden. That's not good.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And Singapore summit between North Korea leader Kim Jong-un and U.S. President Donald Trump. First time a North Korean leader and an incumbent U.S. president have ever met. Oh, it's 6 years ago on this date when he stepped over the threshold. And
No, I don't think that was it.
Yeah.
This was their meeting, not when he stepped across the threshold.
That's one and the same. He didn't go back. How many times did Trump visit North Korea?
I don't know.
Must have been.
I think it was only
He
once.
was visiting South Korea, and then it was kind of spontaneous, and he set up the meeting. They hooked up there. They're not one and the same.
They're not?
No.
Huh.
He did it twice, but he wasn't going to North Korea.
Oh.
I don't think he ever went to North Korea. They met somewhere at a neutral spot.
No, they were in the DMZ, but
yes, that did happen.
But he went over the threshold. Donald Trump set foot in sovereign North Korean land.
It isn't that meeting. It's
Okay.
not that meeting.
Okay, so okay. All right. Moving on up, what do we got here in 2019? This is really interesting.
2019, earliest evidence of humans smoking cannabis discovered in 2,500-year-old cave in Pamir Mountains, China, published in Science Advances.
Hey, we stoners have a long history.
Long history.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. The earliest evidence of smoking cannabis. Yeah. We have another 29. We have several 2019s actually.
Yeah, 2019, same-sex marriage approved in Ecuador's constitutional court in landmark ruling.
All right. I'm all for that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They want to be miserable like everybody else. Let them get married. It's fine.
Yeah.
2019, violent protests in Hong Kong as tens of thousands of protesters block and try to storm government buildings to stop extradition law.
Yeah, that was when officially China was completely taking over Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And all those protests.
Yeah.
And then, a little funny, shortly after that, a certain disease came out that allowed them to come in there with, like, insurmountable force and just clamp down hard.
Yeah.
Like, so. Anyway, you got another 2019 here, and then I'll take the last three articles, and then we'll wrap it up here.
2019, world's largest sovereign wealth find, Norway's government pension fund worth $1 trillion.
Holy.
It's authorized to drop fossil fuel investments from Norway's. Of course they did.
Wow. That's some elitist New World Order, New Economic World Forum stuff right there.
Right.
Yeah. Oh. 2021, Danish star soccer midfielder Christian Eriksen suffered an on-field cardiac arrest, brought to you by Pfizer, during Euro 2020 game with Finland in Copenhagen. Revived with a defibrillator, game controversially restarted with a 1-0 Finland win. So, yeah, that little remark there.
The problem with these athletes going down like that, they never fill in the gaps of was he vaccinated, wasn't he vaccinated, you know.
Oh, of course not, because obviously he was, and then that's going to bring the truth out, and that's the last thing the powers that be want is the actual truth coming out. You know, it is the populace figuring out truly how much we've been getting screwed, how much we've been getting pitted against each other, you know, how much bullshit is being flung in our faces. If people wake up and see just a fraction, and I'm not saying I see the whole picture either, but if people en masse see 10% of what I see, then things will change overnight. I guarantee you that. So, 2023, at least 46 people, including 23 children, killed in the Democratic Republic of Congo at Lala displacement camp by militia group Codeco. 46 people, 23 of which were children. That's half.
Ooh,
Yikes.
that's a tough one.
Yeah. This one's a tough one as well, but then again, they really should not be overloading the boats. 2023, just last year, boat carrying wedding guests overturned, killing 106 with 144 rescued on the River Niger in Nigeria's north central Kwara state. Talk about a wedding and a funeral. But yeah.
That's a tough one.
No.
But I mean, you know, that sucks, but at the same
Very
time,
well.
like, you know, like, regulations exist. You know, to a certain degree, you know, I do agree there is governmental overreach everywhere, but certain regulations exist, honestly, for our well-being. So when it says, you know, maximum weight limit in elevators, that's not a suggestion.
Yeah.
That's telling you if you overload it, you're all going to die. You know, that's why we see, like, you know, like the Indian trains are piled up all over the place. The ferry boats in Niger piled up all over the place because they have no regulations, so they overload it, they lose buoyancy, they drown.
Who's the comic that goes about, you know, overloading a boat or whatever? Don't you have a connector?
A Subway, yeah,
yeah.
they cram them in there like sardines.
Yeah, that's Japan.
Yeah.
They have actual ushers that come in
Yeah.
and push everybody, like,
Like,
Yeah.
literally
In.
shove you
Yeah,
in.
pushes it.
Like,
Yeah.
yikes. Well, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. For your dose of past events daily, we stream it almost every day at 11 in the morning Pacific time, which is 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. We have other shows. We have this show, you know. We have the Omni Coalition News Show every Friday at 3. The Edge of Disclosure, we're aiming to get that off the ground this Sunday at 3. The talk show, we already got off the ground. We did that on Monday. We did that a couple days ago. So that's on Monday at 3. In the Omni Kitchen and INOSH, you know, are still also works in progress, everything. So if you want to actually catch us live, if you're on the West Coast, it's 11 and 3 all for the 12 and 4, watch us for more. For Mountain, Central 1 and 5 for the Contrive, and East 2 and 6 for your fix. For all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
King's Refuge.
Golden Loon.
And you are you, viewer. Thank you very much for watching us. Until you catch us later, whenever that is, wherever that is. Don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!
Deuces.